Hi everyone, so in this video I'm gonna talk about trigonometry integral. Okay, so what is trigonometry integral? It means the integral involve all trigonometry functions. So for example, you may have something like integral of sine to the power something, some power, and then multiply with cosine to the power n dx. Okay, sometimes the trigonometry may stand by itself, but the techniques to approach are gonna be the same. Okay, and then we're gonna talk about secant to the power m of x and tangent to the power n of x. Okay, m and n can be any positive integer. Okay, so if the trigonometry function falling into these two forms, we will below will be the some techniques to solve this type of integral. Okay, so let's first talk about the integral that involve sine to the power mx and cosine to the power nx plus. Okay, so first, there will be a couple cases for the degree of the sine and cosine. So if in the integral, you have the degree of the sine, okay? The degree of sine is odd and positive. Okay, so if the degree of the sine is odd and positive, we're gonna save one sine and then convert the remaining two cosine using the trig identity. So let's see what does that mean. Save one sine and then convert the remaining two cosine. Okay, so I want to integrate the integral. So integrate this sine to the power, let's say 5x cosine 4x dx. Okay, so look at this integral. You can notice that the exponent for the sine function is an odd number and positive. So I'm gonna use the first techniques. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna save one sine and convert the remaining to the cosine. So what does it mean save one sine? So there's 5 copy of sine function right here. So I'm gonna make it become 4 copy of it. Okay, and then cosine 4x, and with another copy, I'm gonna put it right next to dx. Okay, so this is what what we say save one side, and then and the next one we're gonna convert this to cosine function using trigonometry identity. So usually the trigonometry identity for this type of problem is we use the bidiagonal identity. So let me recall that. You're gonna have sine square x plus cosine square x equal 1. So from this identity, so that my side work, recall identity. Okay, and from this equation, you can isolate for cosine square or isolate for sine square. Okay, so I'm gonna isolate for sine square x equal 1 minus cosine square x. And then similarly, we can do cosine square x equal 1 minus sine square x, okay? Either one of them. But since we want convert sine to cosine, so we're gonna use this one, okay? We're gonna use this one. However, on this integral, on this identity, I only have sine square. But the problem is the trigonometry function here is sine to the power 4. Okay, but no worry, we can always rewrite them into the square form. So let's go ahead and do that. I can actually do sine square x to the power 2, cosine to the power 4x, sine x dx. Okay, so it means I can actually replace the sine square by 1 minus cosine square to the power 2, and then times cosine 4x sine x dx. Okay, so one we already successfully replace the remaining trig to become the cosine, and then we have the factor of sine. Now, what should we do? So if you notice that the derivative of cosine is actually sine, okay, the derivative of cosine is actually sine. So we're gonna use trig, u sub, and then let u equal to cosine x. And what is the derivative of cosine? Derivative of cosine is negative sine x dx. Okay, so you can see that, oh, I got this is same as this. Okay, the only difference is the negative. So I can bring the negative to the other side by multiply both sides by negative. So I'm gonna have negative du equal sine x dx. Okay, so we're gonna substitute into our integral. So the integral here will become integral of 1 minus u squared, and then u to the power 4 times negative du. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the negative to the front and then distribute this. So we will have negative 1 minus 2u squared plus u to the power 4 times u to the power 4 du. Okay, and when the problem from here, you can actually distribute the u to the power 4 and then simplify the integral. Okay, so I distribute the negative and also u to the power 4, and this is what I got. Okay, and then we're gonna integrate this. So negative u to the power 5 over 5 plus 2u to the power 7 over 7 plus u to the power 9 over 9 plus c. Okay. Oops, I didn't. Yeah, I need to distribute the negative here as well. Oops. This is gonna be negative, negative. All right, and then we're gonna do substitution. So we're gonna sub back the u because we want the trig at the result, not the u. So we're gonna have cosine of 5x over 5 plus 2 cosine of 7x over 7 minus cosine of 9x 9 to the power 9 over 9 plus c. Okay, and this is the result. Now the next case is if the degree of cosine is odd and positive, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna save one cosine and then convert the remaining to sine using the identity. So it's pretty similar techniques, right? So for example, so let's look at example 2. Integrate cosine qx over square root of sine x dx. Okay, so yeah, the problem don't necessarily to be multiplied. Okay, sometimes they might be divided, but that's okay. So compare the degree of the cosine and sine. The degree of sine is 1/2. Okay, because of the square root. But the degree of cosine 3. 3 is odd and positive. Okay, so we're gonna use these techniques. We're gonna save one cosine. So we're gonna save one cosine. So the problem will become cosine squared times cosine x dx. Okay, over square x, square root of sine x. Okay, all right, and then we need to convert that to sine by using the identity above. So 1 minus sine square over square root of sine x. Okay, cosine x dx. All right, so when we substitute, we're gonna let u equal to sine x. Okay, so u sub, so let u equal to sine x. you don't want to let u equal to cosine x, okay? Because you want to let u equal something that when you take the derivative, give you this, okay? You want to let u equal to the term that when you take the derivative, give you cosine x dx, which is u have to be sine x. And then du gonna be cosine x dx, okay? So with that substitution, you will be able to make the cosine x dx become du, okay? So everything in terms of u. So now this is gonna become integral of 1 minus u squared over u, square root of u, times du, because cosine x dx is du, okay? So I'm gonna time du. All right, so now when this is the integral, you can actually simplify this, right? We can simplify this. Every time when you see a fraction and the denominator is just a single term, what we do, we're gonna break down the fraction into multiple fractions. So we have 1 over square root of u minus u squared over square root of u du. Because they are the same common denominator, you can do that. You can do this and this, okay? So now, power rule or simplify, we can simplify u squared and u to the power 1/2. So I can rewrite this, u to the power -1/2 minus u squared over u to the power 1/2 du, okay? We're gonna continue to simplify this, u to the power -1/2 minus, on this one is gonna be u to the power 2 minus 1/2 du, which is what? Which is u to the power -1/2 minus u to the power, what is 2 minus 1/2? If I know still people having trouble simplify the fraction. So if you still have trouble simplify the fraction, you can put in your calculator and convert that to fraction, and that is u to the power 3/2. Okay, if you are confident with simplified fraction, no, yeah, that's fine, that's totally fine. You can do by hand. All right, so after simplifying, we're gonna take the integral. So this is u to the -1/2 plus 1 over -1/2 plus 1 minus u to the power 3/2 plus 1 over 3/2 plus 1, and then plus c. Okay, power rule. And then we will simplify this. I'm gonna have u to the power -1/2 plus 1 is 1/2 over 1/2 minus u to the power 5/2 over 5/2 plus c. Okay, and then divide fraction mean multiply that reciprocal. So I can bring this to the top and make it become 2 to the power, 2 times u to the power 1/2 minus 2 over 5 u to the power 5/2 plus c. Okay, it's pretty long, right? So last step, we just need to replace the u by sine x to our problem. So we have 2 sine to the power 1/2 x minus 2 over 5 sine to the power 5/2 x plus c. And you can leave your answer like this, no problem, okay? You don't have to simplify it or taking the square root of it. No, you can leave your answer like this. That is good enough. Okay,